Hey there guys, welcome to my Star Wars Rogue One review. So I went to see Star Wars Rogue One, or Rogue One, a Star Wars story, about 3 times because I don't have a girlfriend. No, that's not the real reason why I went to see this film 3 times, because this film is so awesome and heart-racing. The only thing I would say that I didn't cry in this film, unlike when I went to see Force Awakens. I cried about 3 times in that film. I cried when the opening crawl happened, I cried when Han Solo died, and I cried at the ending. But this film is so awesome, and I'm going to in depth why this film is one of the best films of the year, but perhaps maybe the best Star Wars film since the original trilogy. Firstly, I want to say the tone and the style is completely different from any other Star Wars film. It's like the first time I went to see Captain America the Winter Soldier for the first time, which I fell in love with, because it wasn't another superhero film. It had its own theme to it. It had a spy political thriller, and that just elevated the film much more, and it continued on with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With Rogue One, it's a war movie, and war movies are my least favourite genre. I mean, the only kind of war films I'm interested in is samurai films, but that's one of the reasons why I love this film, because it's mixing something I love, which is Star Wars, and it's mixing something that I'm not really interested in, and that's war. And it blends together so beautifully, and it just creates such a great atmosphere and makes it so different from any other Star Wars film. This film felt so darker and mature than any other Star Wars film. You get a few jokes here and there, but there are some scenes in this film that felt so reminiscent to a war movie. And they did something different in this film compared to the other films. They actually put the titles on the planet. At first I thought it was a bit off, then I thought about it more, then I thought it was pretty cool, and I liked the way they were going with that. This film was able to give you a better look of how brutal and dark the galaxy is. It's heartbreaking, it's horrific, it's dirty. There's certain scenes in this film that really surprised me. Near the beginning, Cason O'Dore had to kill this innocent man because he was panicking and drawing unwanted attention. And there's this other scene that I just love, and you just get a small glimpse of it, really. There's this scene when Jin and the other prisoners are getting transferred, and there's this scene of this stormtrooper who's worn, he's got dirty armour, and he's just laying there to himself, wondering to himself, like, when is my next break? And small doses like that just gives you the feel of this film. Another thing that I love about this film, that it was able to tie into New Hope so beautifully. That last 10 minutes with her shuttle and Princess Leia and the Death Star plans makes perfect sense, and it actually makes you want to watch New Hope straight away. And this film manages to reveal certain things that are crucial to New Hope, such as when Jin discovers the message from her father and tells her the weakness of the Death Star. You know, when you have to go through a trench, shoot some torpedoes, that's no bigger than a womp rat. I really recommend go check out the Family Guy sketch, that is just hilarious. But all of that makes perfect sense. The space battle at the third act was incredible, probably my favourite space battle, fighting against the Battle of Endor in Return of the Jedi. But General Radis, he is incredible. He is like fantastic. He is a fucking genius, I would say, because he was able to take down 2 Star Destroyers and a shield gate with 1 ship with no firepower, and that was the Hammerhead Covenant. And after watching that, you realise how dumb and stupid Admiral Akbar was in Return of the Jedi. I mean, he was the leader of the assault on the Death Star, and he was the only one that panicked, and he was like, "It's a trap!" It's no concept to it. He was just so dumb. I could just make a sketch about him. "It's a trap! What we're doing!" It was so dumb. But like any other leader, if it was General Radis, he would be like, "It's a trap. It's okay. We got this." So yeah, I think the space battle is incredible. I loved it how they were able to use the CGI to bring back certain characters we all love from the original films, and especially at the end when you get Princess Leia. When I went to see it for a 3rd time, and with the unfortunate Carrie Fisher, it really hit me even more. But having Tarkin in this film, who is one of my favourite Star Wars characters, seriously, go read Tarkin, is a fantastic novel. But having him in this film, it was like bringing back Peter Cushing. And he had some great material in this film, such as like humiliating and tearing apart Krennic. And 2 scenes I adore in this film, that he decides to do a test run on the Death Star, and he uses it on Jeddah, which has innocent people and children there, but he doesn't care. And at the end, he uses the Death Star a 2nd time on Scarab, which has lots of Imperial officers and soldiers, but he doesn't care. He only cares about one thing. And I was so happy to get more Tarkin than I expected. A character that I just fell in love with was Krennic, and Krennic was the key villain in this film. He wasn't the ultimate bad guy like Darth Vader or Tarkin. He had flaws with his ambition, and he was short-temperedness. But what I love about him, he was driven, he was determined, he was brilliant. And if you want more of Krennic and Galen, I really highly recommend you read Catalyst, the Rogue One Prelude book. You get more of those characters, and Krennic is one of my top 20 Star Wars characters now. Let's talk about Darth Vader, who's only in the film for about 10 minutes, but it's not about how much you use him, it's about how you use him, and he was used perfectly in this film. I mean, I'm not just talking about the awesome ending with the slicing and dicing of the rebels, I'm also talking about the stuff with he gets his own temple on Mustafar, which makes sense since he was born on Mustafar. He gets his own personal servants, he gets his own Bacta tank, and he even has a pun. Remember not to choke on your aspiration. Giving Darth Vader new material just makes it great. Let's talk about certain characters. Some characters I really liked and some characters were just there. The two characters that really stuck out for me was Shirt and Wear, you know, that fascinating Jedi dreamer who's blind but he can kick ass. I really hope to like get a comic book series or maybe a book series out of him because I really just adore the character. I mean, he would definitely be in the top 25 Star Wars characters. And the other character that really stuck out for me was K2SO, who was just funny and stole every scene that he was in. But the two characters that I just thought they were quite bland was Baze, who was just stupid enough to fire a rocket launcher and an AT-AT, which does fuck all. And Bodhi, who was just really just a messenger and a technician. So some characters were hit and misses for me. Let's talk about the fan service, and most of the fan service was great, apart from one. How ironic they managed to leave Jeddah before it was destroyed. But apart from that, everything was great. We got Mon Mothma, Return of the Jedi. We got Bail Organa from the prequels. We got the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels. We got mentions of Black Saber from the Clone Wars. We got a flashback from Catalyst. This film was able to pull it off so well. Got everything we love about Star Wars, and it combines together so beautifully. The only two problems that I had with this film was not having an opening crawl and having a weak score. Not having the opening crawl was a major mistake because you needed to get the audience pumped up for this film and to explain what was going on. The score was pretty bland as well. John Williams didn't come back to do this film and it's an instant loss because there was nothing in this film that was memorable. Even Attack of the Clones, which is I think is probably my least favourite Star Wars film, had a better score. My overall verdict with this film was able to be a Star Wars film and a war film at the same time. And it was able to give you a different look on the galaxy and blend into other Star Wars properties as well. Besides from a couple of problems, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. One of the best films of the year and one of my favourite Star Wars films of all time. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Go like, comment, subscribe. Go check out my Twitter, my Facebook and my Instagram page. I'll see you guys soon. I got your back.